Hello，观众朋友们，大家好。我们接着昨天的这个游戏啊，我们继续。因为今天登录的时候，今天上来的时候，我发现出现了一次回档，是因为什么呢？因为这个游戏只有自动保存，没有这个手动保存，所以它只储存到这个我们刚救完这个歌手，所以我们的金钱呢也回到了大概1100多块钱左右。所以呢，我们也需要把这个
Most of
剧
the
情
Ura never got a
给
taste
完
of
善一下。
Ceylondia's fine goods, unless they were born and raised in the city like Zia here.
等于说我们这个就是进度，就是我们没有把之前的这个刀剑这些东西升级，所以现在我们得把这个我们之前升级过的武器给升级一下，然后我们再继续这个故事线。
If only I'd known half the secrets of the calamity were tucked away in that book, I'd have worked to translate it right away. A scientific journal written in Zolf's native tongue. He learned so much from it. Too much. Sure, the world's all gone to pieces farther than the eye can see. But leave it to this gal to point out the amazing view. Girl tried to run away from home one time, but the marshals stopped that, didn't they? So many secrets in there and she can't even read it. Her father's own journal.
然后我们到这个杂货铺吧，买一下升级这个刀的东西。
Finders keepers.
这次为了保证钱够，我们得合着点。120。我们接着把这20%的保金
Points just don't get any sharper than that.
400多，300多。那我等于说我买完那个什么的话，应该是买完这个皮筋儿的话，应该是没有钱再升。哎，我现在手里是不是有皮筋儿？哦，果然不能升。不够，所以我们没必要再需要。把这个纪念碑插一下。
Kid's surprised when I tell him there's only one core left. I shouldn't have believed it either.
然后把这个纪念馆刚给升回来。
The memorial. Here, kid can pay respect to the old world and earn it in kind.
哎，
The valediction. Just another one of my sketches.
我们还有任务奖励呀，这就够了呀！赶紧去买皮筋儿。嘿，可以。哦，我想起来了。我可以体验一下这个。
Kid packs a special surprise in every one of those arrows.
我可以体验一下这个变剑。
We track the final core beyond the city to the wilds. The wild unknown. Place can eat a man alive.
那个盾，我看刚才有
Place
失
is
联，
so
那说
raw
明这个
even the
盾，
calamity couldn't cook it.
这个盾可
Not
能
all of it.
是应该也能升级的。我们一会儿再去看看，这是什么？我天，什么意思？哦，哎呦，
Know what's better than having a slinger pistol in a fight?
我这看起来好屌。
Having two. Kid's faster than a slinger with those guns.
我去，这不是
Savage things
DNF 里的
lurking
游
at
侠
every
吗？
turn.
哎，我的天，
Pin cushions ain't the worst of
没
it
注
either.
意。哎，我的天哪！哎呦呦，这 我现在只能这样。哎，我好难过呀！大哥，我只能等着你把自己烦死了。
Good thing pincushions can't see where they're shooting. Pecker's got the core, like they're building a bastion of their own. The welcoming committee scrambles to attention.
文物部掉了这么多血，还吃了一个血瓶儿，我的妈呀！不是我招谁惹谁了？这个，我去！他射程怎么这么远啊？
They shouldn't have let their guard down. Getting that core was one thing. Getting out's gonna be another. He digs his way out of the clearing, but the wilds won't let him go without a fight.
我都有点慌了。
Wallflowers survived the calamity. It toughened them up. Kid learns the hard way not to touch those things.
"这个准度有待商榷啊！
Don't ever turn your back on a pincushion.
哎呦我的天哪！
Slinger Johnson's old outpost is all that's left of him.
这得升级，应该升完级之后会好很多。
Kid sticks to his old standbys.
这是能打的吗？
A handful of windbag shipments made it out this far.
哦，
Kid's seen the last of them.
这个便便剑也是挺强的嘛。可以。
Kid's roused up half the wilds by now.
Ay.
Then kid gets the feeling he's being watched. Not by me, by a lunkhead. And lunkheads ain't fond of two-legged animals.
哎呦喂，什么意思？我去！我大哥，是你给引到这上面了吗？哦，哦，so 嘎。哎呦，大哥呀！
Wild green vine apples about the only good thing out here. Hardly any signs of the old Jawson camp. The Wilds already reclaimed this place. He's anxious to get back. After all, he's got the final core. His journey's over, right? Well, no, it ain't. Not by a long shot.
哦，这我们就打完了是吗？
Kid knows something's up when we ain't there to give a warm welcome.
看了没有？
See, Zolf and I were just wrapping up a heated discussion. Zolf can barely muster the words. The calamity failed, he says, but I will not. And with that, Zolf leaves us here, alone.
What？ 我去！
When Zolf got through reading that journal, he just snapped. Started smashing up the monument till I tried to stop him.
不会吧？
Zolf cursed the city, cursed the Bastion, cursed me, said he was going home.
不会让我去找这些日记碎片吧，大哥？ 对吗？
Takes a lot of moving pieces to make a dependable sidearm.
大哥，你这洗钱呢？
Zolf banged up the monument pretty bad. But there's a way to put her back together. The shards. We're gonna need all of them to nurse the Bastion back to health.
这有什么用啊？看着。
The city brought the shards to the Wilds. Now the kid's gonna bring them back.
你去看一下这个盾。
The accused always got a fair shake in Zealandia.
果不其然，
Some used to take the bullhead trial. Survive the trial without taking a scratch, you'd walk away a free man.
嗯。 原来盾是这么用的。 哦
The
，so
bullhead
棒，
trial taught folks three things. First, a good defense is a good offense. Second, gotta always watch your back. Third, ain't no godlike bull up there gonna save you. The smarter ones knew when to just step aside and let things go.
Hmm? 我去，
The trial pushed many a man to his limits. The kid makes it out in one piece.
我是不是点错了？
Well, the kid always wanted to compete in the bullhead trial.
我去，我果然点错了，我的天哪！哎呦，算了，走进度吧。我觉得我们枪什么的是需要升级的。
Kid ain't had enough of the breakers' barracks. Takes practice, and a mighty strong bow helps too.
完了，
Puts on the right solid performance.
哎，那说明弓箭应该是最快的。我去，血亏有没有？哎呦我的天呀！我们接着走去。
After Zolf's little episode, Kid sets off in search of shards. First stop, Jawson Bog. You'll get lost in that bog, I told the kid, and I won't be able to guide you back.
迷路。
Well, I let him go. What else could I do? What could any of us do? Zolf put us in a real bind. Hurt the Bastion bad. But the shards can make it better. They're like smaller doses of the core's medicine. Shame the only place to fill that prescription is out here in the wilds. This place is intoxicating.
真睡着了吗？
Don't know where he's gone. Might be gone for good for all I know.
这个游戏里的音乐是真好听。
Wherever he is, somewhere I've never been. Somewhere I never want to go.
哎呦！猛救！
Death welcome him with open arms. Kid pops him good. survivor? No, ma'am. It's a lonesome ghost of a gas fella. What do you say to a kid who's seen too much? I'm Zolf of Ligura. Pleased to make your acquaintance. Now the kid sees something stranger still. Did anybody else survive? Sure enough, he finds peckers, lunkheads, wallflowers, pincushions, pineapples, swamp weeds, ankle gaiters.
微微。
Kid can't fall, no matter how hard he tries. Now the Bastion can send him even farther, into the wild unknown. Kid sets foot inside one of Ceylondia's famous watering holes. The security's just to straighten it out. He has the nerve to flash the shield he stole. He's a petty thief. Succeeds where the calamity failed. Would you look at what he did to poor old Ronde the bartender? Proper story's supposed to start at the beginning. It's so simple with this one. Now here's a kid whose whole world's alright, snoozing there on a rock in the sky. He wakes up. I'm just fooling. He sees what's left of the rippling walls. Years of work undone in an instant. He sees what's left of Pith, the bull. The gods, they're all undone. He sees what's left of his lifelong friend. His friend, he's come undone too. He sees what's left undone.
Hmm?
thought we'd lost him, but he finally comes to. The shard ain't lost either. Not anymore. Now to find a ticket out of this hole.
应该跟着光走。哇！
Bootlickers dig their nasty thorns into his
吓我
heels.
一跳！我的天哪，我的小心肝儿啊！
Ever heard of a lung blossom?
boss，
It's bigger than the stories say. The breath on that thing, like a scumbag sprung a leak.
.这就很难受了呀。
They say one whiff of lung blossom can make you lose your mind. Well, the kid prunes it down to size somehow. Mother only knows what happened in the bar.
我的天！
Kid never much cared to speak of it.
亏
A
了
shard
生
is
的
like
是
a
便
poor
便
man's
剑。
core, but beggars can't be choosers. That's it. Few more shards like that, and we'll be back in business. A single shard can breathe new life into this place.
好，升级。
The shard's got enough juice to spruce up any of these places. The arsenal's complete, in case we need protection.
说大哥，你升了级有没有什么新的？不是吧？我突然觉得我亏呀、可以。大师最大生命暴击率，仅在生命满格时有效，这个太损了。秘技伤害加2。这两个就
Dread rum's brewed from swamp weeds, so its effect is as bold as its flavor. The Gravers, the arm of justice. They seemed unstoppable. Been meaning to put up some guardrails.
我好痛苦这样。 哦，等于说我现在手里没有升级枪的这个东西。
The city tried to use the shards to stake out the wilds. So much for that plan.
我是这个枪的这个人物。
You have to think fast to survive the wilds, and none thought faster than the slingers. They could shoot their pistols with the speed of a machine.
我们是，哦，这儿的枪。
They knew just when to start shooting and when to stop. Those pistols could spit out rounds just as quick as you could pull the trigger. Learning to hold your fire could be its own challenge. No matter how fast you are, you can always get faster.
说明我们又可以升级。
The slingers could plug you full of holes faster than you could say draw.
我不想，我想回家。不行吗，兄弟？我。
The slingers like to edge each other out using customized pistols. Eventually, it all comes down to reflexes. Well, even the slingers weren't quick enough to escape the calamity. His bow's looking lean and mean like a prize fighter.
What? 哎呀！我真是。
Ankle gators used to roam the wilds, and they nested at Rothes Lagoon. Many a tale folks used to scare their children straight originated here. All kinds of beasts would don't know up from down, still lurking around.
乱披风剑法啊！走你！
Only the city's brushers knew their way around the lagoon. They quick and quiet. Even the brushers learn to fear this place. Can't get hasty in a place
我
like
的
this.
天呀！
They used to think that ankle gators were extinct. Well, they ain't.
我
One
去，
has been living in the tall grass. They called her Queen Anne. Turns out Queen Anne got a hold of a shard. Ankle gators love shiny things. Know what smells worse than an ankle gator's breath? A stinkweed. Can't fight Queen Anne without the proper tools. They say you can't hurt an ankle gator unless it's raining. And it ain't raining. The brushers use their pikes to keep their distance around here. Now the kid can do the same.
我，
That's ankle gator country for you.
你是不是觉得你很幽默，兄弟？啊？
Sharp sticks make Queen Anne nervous, so she backs off a bit.
我操！ 操！大哥，你是不是觉得特别幽默啊？我操，大爷！
Most of those peckers are smart enough to stay out of Queen Anne's way. Those pincushions been living off the ankle gator's scraps. Queen Anne can't fit down some of these narrow paths. Queenie leads the kid into some kind of twisted trap. One bad step in that tall grass and he's Queen Anne's lunch. Still no sign of the shard. The closer you get to an ankle gator's lair, the thicker the tall grass grows. Kid's gotta make a run for it. Those leaping lunkheads don't like Queen Anne any better than the kid. Queen's got one mean
呀
bite.
呵，你可真猛的！我的天呐，大哥你是真的猛！
Best not to feed the local wildlife.
进草丛就得咬呗。妈呀，大哥！
Queenie must have scared a bunch of peckers out of hiding. Seems even stinkweeds know to stay away from the queen.
Oof.
Ankle gators don't much care for their young. That's why there ain't many around. Wanna know how to find an ankle gator lair? You use a kid as bait.
哇塞，这么卡突然！
Now she's coming for him. She's got nowhere else to go.
哦，突然就好卡
The。shard's sitting in plain view. They say if you run across an ankle gator, you better keep running. She's starting to get annoyed.
哎， 喂，大哥。
Rest in peace, Queen Anne. That was for the brushers. He's got it, and he's home free. Kid's done what needed to be done.
可以，前面感觉可能就只不过是在走一
Queen
个形
Anne's
式，
reign is over. We even got a crown jewel.
前面几关就是在走一个形式，后边的乐趣会相对来讲要大一些。
Kid don't always care for fancy guns and things. A bow and pike will do just fine. He's made a right comfortable bed for all those bullets.
.哇，这里的钱好有用啊！我有2件武器没有拿到呢。
They said Queen Anne was just a folktale. Now there's living proof she ain't. That Gator's a crazy gal, but so is the gal who promised to look after her.
我去，大哥不是吧？
The breakers. Ain't no one can outrun them. Or their arrows. To fix a brusher's pike, you just need a good length of knife bark. All that trouble for a single shard. But you know what? It was worth it.
这还用问吗？
Ain't saying much, but that's the greatest forge in all the city.
哦，能升级更多东西了。当然也需要更多的钱了呀，兄弟们！你要的太多了。
The next shard should be farther out there in the wilds.
去过的地方就已经
Rothless
不能再
Lagoon.
去了，
Even the brushers stopped going there.
所以
Didn't
我
like
现在
being
最担心
eaten.
的就是我们会不会因为某些没有拿的东西就在这里边，所以有点儿很尴尬呀。一会儿再来打吧，这里边给材料倒是。哎呀，我的天，好难受。
Know how Celandia became the richest city in the world? 2 words. Point Lemaine. If the wilds could ever be tamed, it was gonna happen
哇，
right here.
屌！ 对呀，我换的是双枪，我怕什么呀？
But now, the greatest outpost past the city line is nothing but a freak show. The army's triggers once had the place on lockdown.
我的天！
Kid might as well pick up where they left off. Blam! Just like my fighting days. Gun like that can even put the wilds in check.
我这蓄力的屌啊！哈哈。
Point Lemaine seen better days for sure, but it ain't done. Whole place shudders in a fit. The grand rail of Point Lemaine. Not only is it still there, it still works. Of course, it's no longer shipping hides and alloys and spices, but it can give the kid a lift. Just as long as he can stay clear of the trouble on the tracks.
我去，底下那射没完了是吧？
Over with things the calamity chewed up and spat out. Things eager
这
to
个
take
枪
back their turf. Kid don't want to miss
我
this
他妈还
train.
掉的。
Kid lets a few of them slip by. Kids settled in like they own the place.
我一脸懵逼啊！我这是。来来来。
Takes fancy footwork on the rail. What with wallflowers, coughing fungus everywhere. Only one way to cure a cough like that. Place used to be closed off, but now it's split open like a rotten pineapple. Of course, the Grand Rails seen much more fight.
真他妈难用。
Near on 50 years ago, first shots fired in the Ura-Ceylani War. It was right here that Zulf's Ura forefathers decided to mix it up. Okay, so maybe we didn't get their sign-off on the whole Grand Rail thing. That was bad. The rail must have shook the Ura to the bone down in those dens of theirs. Well, the rail won't last much longer now that the kid took the shard.
又开
It's
始
still
了。
got one good run in store for him, though. All the rotten wood there on the rails turn it into swamp weed central. Ever tried dancing side to side while holding your breath? While choking on swamp weed? While peckers trying to prick you in the eye? Well, let me tell you, it ain't fun. But then at last,
Huh?
it's the end of the line.
我去，
He'll be picking swamp weed out of
Şurada
those
olsun, ha.
boots for days. Turns out he's got company up at the rail station, waiting for him. Not just another wallflower or pincushion, mind you. At first, he thinks it's Zulf. Turns out he's wrong. This is for you, says the man.
我的
Then wham!
又睡了。
When the kid comes to, the man's long gone. But something else is there.
这是温馨的度过了一夜是吗？
The only words Kid recognizes on that parchment are for Zia. What's a kid to do? He took the shard, he took the hit, and he took that note. That note cuts straight to the heart of things, don't it? It ain't too late to unlock the potential of this place. Zolf's messenger was one of his people. Wonder just how many of them survived, and what exactly Zolf told him. Just the occasion to crack open the distillery's private reserve. Where whiskey has no scent, but tastes like a peppered boot heel. It's not for everyone. Finding gourmet ingredients ain't easy these days, but we'll take what we can get. The note says it plain. Zia, go east to learn the truth about the Calamity and our people. I'll be waiting. Sincerely, Zolf.
这是生枪的。
That's the way to make every shot
哎呦，我
count.
不应该生，我本来钱就少。哎呦，好难受。这很尴尬的。
Kid arrives just in time to sample Zia's famous cooking. He wolfs down too much too fast, and it all goes to his head.
犯气攻心了。
I've said a lot about the kid, but he ain't the only one wrapped up in all this.
什么意思啊？哦，这是一个游戏模式是吗？
What's he thinking? Well, let me see if I got this straight. I only heard it once. Once there was a normal Ura girl, but she wasn't born in the Tassel terminals like the rest of her people. She was from Celandia. Her folks were orphaned in the war, taken in and raised inside the city, on condition they would never return to the terminals. Ura refugees who came into the city had to stay for life. It was a way to reduce the risk of city secrets leaking out. Mama passed away from birthing complications, leaving the girl trapped inside that city with no one but her father. father was sharper than a brusher's pike, so he got a job working for the city's mancers. His daughter barely saw him. Her father told her nothing of her Ura heritage. He told her nothing of the Mancers. It's for your own good, he said. She took to studying the arts, learned more through music than history books, gained a knack for strings and songs. At first, she tried to be like other girls, but her classmates spread word that her father was an Ura trader, selling out the city. One young man stood up for her, or so he led her to believe. He knew much of her heritage, and she grew fond of him. The young man convinced her to take him to her family den to meet her father. Spoke of how he wanted to meet a man from the terminals. When the young man greeted her father in the Ura's native language, her father flew into a fit of rage and threw them out. The young man never told her that the Ura's native language is not to be used by foreigners. To do so is a terrible insult. It was then that she decided to escape. The two of them could flee the city together and go to the Tassel terminals.
不让走。我去。
They would hide inside a garbage bin until it got ingested by a scumbag, then let him slosh on out of the city for disposal. Succeeded, but the authorities were already there when that scumbag sidled up to the city walls. The young man had sent the authorities a tip. Told him her father was using her to sell secrets to the Tazzle terminals. She and her father were arrested for treason, but her father got a deal. Returned to work for the Mansers, and she'd go free. Before they parted ways for the last time, her father whispered a desperate plea. Hurry home to the den and lock yourself in.
What? She did as she was told, and deep down underground inside that den, she found a journal written in her father's hand. The
next day, the door to the den turned to ash. The girl came up for air, and she saw the calamity all around her. When the kid wakes up, his world's still in pieces, just the way he left it.
哦，这声乌鸦叫可真他妈够垂丧的。
The shards are getting harder to find.
其实我们应该把猫都打了。
To prepare for the wilds, Ceylonia's brushers practice at Camp Donce. Had to navigate a maze of pincushions with nothing but a pike. It's a dangerous test for a dangerous job.
哎呦喂，我的天，这个伤害可不是盖的。
Health tonics were off limits at Camp Donce. They said they made you weak. Sometimes the course was brutal.
Oh my god.
The rules said he couldn't use any fancy footwork, just your brains and your pike.
又把自己陷入了被动。
Just getting through the course in one piece was an
三等
accomplishment.
OK， 我们拿到这个升级一下就可以了。
You can see why the brushers prize those pikes of theirs.
造成击退。
Don't want that thing leaving your hands until you decide it's time. 可以试一下这个。这是一个新武器吗？我们好像没有拿到呢，还是说要通过某种东西去解锁，去直接买就可以？现在不清楚。 Not everything blew up in the calamity. Why, Colford Cauldron
Let's
here
go.
blew up way ahead of its time. The cauldron boiled over some 300 years ago.
我去，我90吨都能炸着我了。
They say it filled the skies with ash and the lakes with molten rock.
哇，这就不好了，不好了，不好了。
If you wanted to survive something like that, you had to learn to adapt.
哦，
So in a way, the beasts of the wilds, they're all survivors too. Best to keep out of the
Oh
cauldron.
my god！
It takes a certain stubborn pride to keep on living in a place like this. As for us, we learned an awful lot from Colford Cauldron. That learning led to some interesting inventions. The raw
Watch,
power
watch,
of the
watch,
world
watch.
fell right into our hands.
我操！哦，这是有子弹的。
Sure, we dusted off a good many secrets out here.
哦，这个太难受了，这个。
But we discovered other things we're better off not knowing. The unforgiving scent of sulfurous dirt. Taste the air so hot it sticks to your lungs. All sorts of awful things crawling underfoot.
Oh, 这个东西对花有奇效。
You can cook those things, but you can't eat them. Never thought we'd find so much life in all that ash. The more ash we swept aside, the more life we found. Place as inhospitable as they come. Still, we pressed on. After all, when we looked down inside Culford Cauldron, looked down through all the smoke and flames, we saw in there the heart of the world, the heart now laid bare by the calamity. We had to have it. As for the kid, he just has to get that shard out of there. Too bad taking that thing woke up every last stink eye from here to Charleston Bog. Kid's thinking he's got to trek all the way back around the cauldron. Luckily, the cauldron cooked up a little shortcut for him. Sure, it ain't the most convenient path. Biggest stink eye he's ever seen's waiting for him on the other side. Well, it ain't polite to stare. And where there's one stink eye, there's always more.
我去，我亏了回来了一趟。The cauldron's tenants all gather up to bid the kid a fond farewell. Kid don't shed any tears for him, though. With a good spyglass, you can still see the cauldron from the city.
the fires died out,
哇，
there's
可
nothing
靠
left
肥
of
了
it.。It comes back looking like the inside of a chimney.
刚才好像有把枪，我果然没有。哎，这个，哦，这叫，哦，是这个枪。
Wouldn't have thought to bring a bellows to a shootout, but it just might work. They said the wild could never be tamed. If only they could see us now. We're all a little short on friends these days, so that's a welcome sight.
“我们现在有多少钱？1087。我们没有把它升级。
The shard works like a charm. You can hear the monument's heartbeat again. We need an awful big lost and found under the circumstances.
这样我们就能哦，就能到这个东西了。
It wasn't fixed, it was unbroken.
哇，好贵啊！真的好贵啊！这个要多少钱？这个可以升。哎呦，那买错了。啊！
We spotted a pecker carrying a shard to Mount Zan.
OK， 我们去下一个点。
Can't rightly call Mount Zan a mountain anymore. There's no more mountains now. There's no
我觉得
place
危险啊
left for the beasts of the wild to go.
大哥有没有搞错啊？
We only found that little lair because they found themselves a little shard.
我去，大哥，你怎么哪儿都能出来？去3只了！
It's a delicate situation.
哇，雪上加霜！哇，不行，我要去这儿。或者我
Good
拿
thing for those beasts the Calamity saved leftovers.
我觉得我应该拿那什么。哎呦！ 好，又一瓶，又一瓶，又一瓶。太危险了，这里。大哥，你也太缺德了吧！
Those beasts been hoarding all the valuables they could find.
还有地雷。什么声音？我操！好吧，会吃果子。你妹呀！还有最后一果，哎呀，好烦啊！
The creatures of the wild, they've been building a bastion of their own. They even drag their children into this. Without a doubt, the situation stinks. Best thing we can do for those beasts right now is put them down quick and clean.
我去，亏了我机智往里扎2刀。
There's only one kind of mercy left these days.
我去，大哥别胡乱给我东西啊！骚气！骚气，真的。我无话可说。
What the city left behind, those beasts took for themselves.
还行吧。啊，可以试着打一发。
Takes a lot of convincing, and our mortars have to do the
这个东
talking.
西，好像很屌的呀。
Look at it this way. It's either them or us. But if we win, they win too. Our bastion is everybody's gain, not just ours.
我去，
Unfortunately, there's no explaining that to a simple beast. Those beasts been hard at work fixing up the place. They've rounded up their survivors, just like we have. They've been searching for cores and shards, just like we have. Maybe they've thought about turning back, just like we have. We just really need their shard. Kid got it fair and square. That's the way.
"莫名其妙，这就升级了，能不能去别地儿？
He's done what's best for him, don't you worry. Don't you worry. We'll all be better off once the Bastion is complete.
OK， 朋友们，我们今天就先到这儿。 我们下期再见，再见。